What's up, everybody? Welcome to the PixelPlay Podcast. My name is Adam, aka CS Radical, joined as always Chris, aka Jen and Chris, and Kaylan, aka Catastrophe, aka Discord's deciding every once in a while that, you know what, he doesn't need to be in anything more than 144p like it's 2008 YouTube.
It's my best look.
You know what? I mean, I can't argue with it. If he thinks
it's the resolution that fits me best.
I didn't
Kaylan's
know that the
around
fashion style was pixelation, but I guess you know with the way the fashion shows are sometimes with how kooky those outfits are. Who am I to judge?
It's like a Snapchat filter, but CRT filter that you'd put on retro games in an emulator. It's all the rage these days.
It's one of those things like, look, I love how we've kind of like jerry-rigged Discord for the longest time on this, and there's always the part of me that's like, you know, if we just use something that would actually just do this better, you know, maybe this could be a possibility, and then every once in a while I go, nah, it's work. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And then internet be damned, which is usually how it goes. Chris's mic decides to conk out, or in the case of the side quest that we pre-recorded for this week, his camera just decides that doesn't want to work anymore, and then when he tries to refresh Discord, goes, no, I'm just going to throw an error message on the screen for the rest of this show.
Yeah. What the hell? Oh, God.
Then
you'll see it in the
confuse
future.
Kaylan because he's a little bit early, so like he pops in for a second, be like, wait, should I not have been in here? I'm like, no, we just left and came back because like Discord decided they didn't want to be nice anymore.
The buttons were confusing.
The buttons were.
It's 2025.
Technology.
What isn't confusing at this point, man?
I'm becoming an old man. Computers are scary, and I don't understand.
Dude, I'm not at that point yet, but every waking second that some sort of new tech starts to come in, my brain goes, oh no, is this the one where I start feeling like the old man who doesn't get it? And I go another one with like, okay, I kind of understand how this works. We're fine.
Wait, aren't you older than me?
Yeah, I think. I'm 37.
Yeah, you are older than me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Grandpa.
Well, I'm going to be 42 this weekend. My birthday's coming up.
You-
I'm going to be old as shit.
Fine for Adam. We can say happy birthday to Chris.
I mean,
Yay.
we could.
You could.
I'm more saying it because...
I like how.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
like how Chris is the oldest one here and is like the most healthiest looking person in the group.
It's called drink water, guys. Actually, I have a Canada Dry Zero.
First of all, that's true. Second of all,
yeah, well, I'm at the age where I blame everything on TikTok, even things that don't have anything to do with TikTok. You tell me the price of apples are high, I immediately blame something like TikTok. So I'm definitely
I don't think
42.
platforms count. Like, I'm talking tech.
Oh no, I'm just angry old man. Yells at cloud.
I don't like AI, but I understand how it's used. Like that like I'm not out of that sphere yet. It's not like how like obviously like our parents have no fucking understanding on how to work an iPhone, you know what I mean? So
Technology.
it's great when you have to be the tech support of the family where you have to tell like, oh yeah, here's how you save an image. And then I go to my job where I'm tech support for my team, and I go, "Oh my god, it's real life all over again. I hate it."
Yeah.
Adam, or because you're showing competency. What you're supposed to do is when they say, "How do you save an image?" You say, "You can do that," and then you pretend you don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they know.
And you never have to answer. Well, now you've shown them your true skills. It's too late.
You screwed up.
Also, there is a sadistic part of my brain that goes, yes, let me deal with how bad this is going to be for me that I'm going to have to try to explain to somebody how to do a very simple action, or at least what I consider to be a very simple action.
Yeah.
I mean, I
play video
games. I am a glutton for punishment, so it works.
So this is the PixelPlay Podcast where three people who have problems with technology talk about video games.
That's not that is not the issue here at all.
The issue is TikTok. It's TikTok.
Well, we do. Okay, to be fair, yes, we do have an issue with social media. We're all really fucking bad at it. In case y'all that have been listening to the show for a long time and wondering why haven't we got any popular, that's why. We're really bad at social media.
We've posted twice. Kaylan has clearly posted twice on our social media account. He beat a game and met Troy Baker. So, like,
we've also told you to like and subscribe. Like, what else are we supposed to do at this point? We've asked.
I'm just saying, I've done a 200% increase in social media posts this year.
Yeah, that's huge.
What more do you
That
want
is
from
huge.
me?
300%, you lazy piece of shit.
Okay, one
I'll
more.
work on it. I got time this year.
Well, speaking of time this year, what have you been playing?
So ironically, talking about time, I am playing Mafia: The Old Country. I picked that up this weekend. I've been playing that. Honestly, first impressions, I'm very impressed with. This is exactly what I want in video games. Like, it's not a long game. It's like pretty straightforward. It's not anything super impressive. Like, it's got some like rough edges, but overall, this feels like the games that we used to play back in like the 2000s, like early 2000s. The story is engaging. Honestly, the character building in this game is some of the best I've ever seen. So like, I am still very early. I'm like maybe 2-3 hours into the game, and like I can already tell the characters who they are, what they do, like the personalities. It's all sort of cliche mafia story stuff, but like I'm so into these characters. Like, there's like, not giving any spoilers, but there's like one guy. He's Luca. He's like the right hand man to the Don. Kind of taking you under his wing, kind of the mentor role, super like him. There's Cesare, who's like the brash cousin to the Don. You know, he's doing the job, but he's kind of like plays it fast and loose. There's the Don's daughter, who you like, you meet early on. It's all just like standard fare stuff, but the way that they characterize these characters is just, there's so much personality in them, and I absolutely love it. Design wise, this game is absolutely gorgeous. The scenery, the world is amazing, highly detailed. The HDR is some of like, for me, I'm not a huge graphics HDR guy, but like, it's some of the best I've seen in my opinion. I really like this game, and for the fact that it's like a double A price title, like, it's awesome. Now there are some problems initially, like it's a slow burn. It's very much like a movie style game where like you're walking from one end to the other, kind of get to this place, do a boss level, do a shootout, do whatever, and then go to the next area. Pretty straightforward and kind of formulaic, but it's telling a story that I'm really engrossed in, and so I'm really excited to see where it goes. So I really like it. I'm really enjoying it. The acting's great. Like, this feels like a movie, and I'm really enjoying it. That also means that I beat Doom: The Dark Ages, so I want to kind of give my quick review on that one. Yeah, actually, first I'll kind of stick with the Mafia. Like, have either of you guys played this?
Yeah, I think we were
The Old
glazing
Country,
over it a little bit. Oh, sorry. Wait, Mafia or Doom? What are we talking about?
Mafia.
Oh yeah. Sorry, I
Also go
heard
back
you
to
say
Doom.
Doom,
Yeah.
so I was like immediately like,
No.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
no,
played
so
the
I
original.
like-
I played the
you guys
original trilogy.
experienced-
I haven't gotten onto the Old Country yet.
Yeah, I really like it, and like they moved away from the open world aspect. Like, I don't know if it's going to open up later, but it's been very linear of just like go to this spot, go to this spot, and I kind of like it. Like, the world is beautiful and stuff, but I'm kind of glad it's not like here's a million things to do and all that. So it feels like a breath of fresh air, and it doesn't feel overwhelming. Like I'm at a steakhouse and they're bringing me a 64-ounce steak that I have to eat. It's like, hey, here's a normal sized meal that you can get through without being sick. Like, and I kind of am here for that.
Well, and that's the part that
Yeah,
I'm kind of
I need
curious
that.
about when it comes to, when I do get around to it at some point. It's like, I don't have a problem with large worlds. The problem that I generally have with them is that it's a lot of dead
Filler?
air, right? So it's really hard to
Mhm.
truly enjoy it. Whereas like, and we've talked about this earlier with, other Mafia games, that what really helps with it is that, there is an open world if you really just want to go around and do stuff. But the reality is it's just a place for you to go in between where you can kind of sightsee as you're going along. Like,
Yeah.
it sounds like with Old Country that it's not really too much different. Like, there's a large world that you're in, but generally speaking, unless you really want to go out of your way to go to like anywhere else, like you're really just going from point A to B and just looking at the sights along the way.
And there's nothing that's compelling you. Like, they're not dangling these carrots of what's behind the question mark. And so far, there's not been any sort of like, hey, go see what's here. It could be cool. It's like, no, here's where the story's going next, and you can go there or you can go explore if you want. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The gunplay kinda is wonky. I'm gonna kind of see if it's maybe just like being new to the game and like having starting weapons, but it's not super smooth. Like
Mafia's
it
always
doesn't
been
have
like
it
a
almost feels
little wonky-ish. Like they've always been just
yeah.
like they've always been, not like GTA with a little more sketch to it.
Hmm. Yeah, and that's exactly how I describe this. Yeah. Um, like I said, alluded to, the other game that I played and beat was Doom: The Dark Ages, and that game, amazing. Um, my quick review for it. This is a great game. Like if you like the Doom games, this is right up your alley. I think this is one of, if not the best of the trilogy. Second, maybe only to the original 2016 Doom. Super fast paced. I like that there's a lot of freedom and control in terms of how you want to play this game. Like, do you want to, like, you don't have to go a certain strategy. Like, any weapon is viable in this game. The level design is amazing. Like, all the secrets are kind of like laid out. There's nothing really hidden. You can see every path, every secret pathway on the map. It's up to you to figure out how to get to it. So I found for a lot of these levels, I was completing, anywhere from 70 to 100% of these levels because I just wanted to explore and use them. There's customization in terms of how your Doom guy plays, and so I really enjoyed that as well. The story is lackluster, as I said in the initial one. I have no idea what's going on, and I don't frankly really care. It was just, hey, get to this level and don't let anything in the middle stop you. And I took that to heart and just loved going through and mowing guys. I felt I had a strategy by the end that just worked for me, and I was in a rhythm that I would just get lost in. I absolutely think that this game is one where, while the story is garbage, this one is one where gameplay is key. It feels hectic, it feels frantic, but it makes sense when you play it. So for me, like, I'd say this is a great, 5 out of 6 game, if not a 6 out of 6. The only real drawback I find is that the story is lackluster. I don't really care about the story, but from a strictly, throw this on and just zone out and shoot stuff, it's a fantastic game.
Yeah, like the little bit
gotta
that I
get
have
around to
played of
this
it,
one.
like there is a story, like a quote unquote story, but it's more of a vehicle to lead you to the levels where you go rip and tear and just have a good old time. I don't think there's necessarily a point to their, like, I can't imagine a Doom game that would have like a JRPG in like depth level of story, whereas like realistically, you just need an excuse to just go around and spend the next 15 minutes just running around this level and just tearing anything to shreds that's remotely in your way.
It's like porn. You're not here for the story, you're here for the action.
Whoa. No.
First of all, I'm only there for the story.
Yeah, he's really interested in if how that pizza guy's really going to get his money in the long run.
What? He lost his wallet and she found it?
What a predicament she's in. How will she get out of this one?
What a predicament?
No, I like this is
Oh.
this was an awesome game. I really like it. I kind of disappointed that it fell off the radar so quickly. Like, I feel like nobody talks about this game, and I think it deserves more. Like, it's Doom. It's not doing anything super fresh and amazing, but it's taken some new ideas and they all work for the most part. Like, I think, I highly recommend this game, and I think if you are at all interested in this, or you're looking for like a fun shoot 'em up game, FPS, maybe a little bit bullet hell, this is it. I was playing it on medium difficulty. Had a couple moments where I would die, but never more than once or twice. There's a lot of forgiveness in terms of, like, you can get like extra lives that like put you back into the fight, and those are done by doing exploration within the game, which rewards that has that reward of exploration. It also allows you to customize your games or customize your weapons. So I think this is one that, like, it doesn't do anything super new, but what it does is does really well. The only thing that I felt like they introduced, like, riding a dragon thing, and while it's a cool idea, it doesn't always stick. Same with driving like the massive mechs. Like, these aren't spoilers. I think they're in the previews. They're cool. They're fine, but like they're very simple, and I think they're overused a little bit.
I was gonna say, I guess it must have
overall,
more than once, because the one time I did it, I'm like, this is cool if it's a one-off. I don't know if I'd want to do like a bunch of these.
Yeah. Neither one of them are a one-off, and they're fine. Like, they're not tedious or problematic. They're usually pretty short, but it's very simple in terms of what they offer.
Yeah, like the little that I did play, like it definitely gives you more. I think the main reason why, as you're saying, that it isn't getting talked about, as much is, well, like you said, it doesn't really do anything totally different. And I think too, like those that are super into the series are actually a little upset that it isn't taking another step forward in terms of the speed. This being it's a little bit slower. I've seen a lot of people complain. It's like, oh, it's not as good as what Eternal was. Whereas obviously we were on the flip side being like, Eternal was way too fucking ADHD, like over the top, man. Like it needed to take a step back.
See, I felt that this game was actually particularly fast, and just to give context with my experience with Eternal, like I found Eternal was the weakest one because my issue with Eternal, well, while it was fast, the problem is it had a very much rock paper scissors-esque aspect, and like I look at something like, was it the Hell Knights where you had to have like a specific weapon to like disable the shields in order to take them out, and it's like if you don't have that, then you're screwed. This one doesn't have that where you're kind of being forced down a certain pathway. This is one where it's just every tool works. It's just how you use it. So I think that this is much better. And it also got rid of that crappy platforming sections that Eternal had. And I felt that those were incredibly weak and distracting from the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, if you're a fan of Doom Eternal, I don't know if this would be the selling point for you. But if you like the 2016 and you want sort of return to that, go for it. Oh, and by the way, Doom Guy, one of the coolest like characters. Like this guy has no lines in this game and just absolutely oozes cool. And like the way that they communicate with this character and like he portrays how he's feeling, like super cool.
I mean, sometimes less.
I'm glad
more,
this is
right?
going back. Yeah.
Sorry?
Sometimes less is more.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad this is kind of more like the 2016 Doom. Like I found that one to be way better than Eternal. It felt like amazing, and then Eternal, I was like, oh, this kind of is taking away from how much I loved the last one, and I feel like this one's gonna be right up my alley. This is exactly what I'm looking for in a Doom game, so I can't wait to play it.
Doom 2016 to me was one of those games where I could just turn on, go into any level, and just have fun going through that level. I never felt that with Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal felt like a chore to get through. This is another one where I would say like, yeah, you can just pick up a level and just run through it and have fun with that.
Seems like a perfect console and chill award nominee for Kaylan in this case.
100%. 100%.
Which is hilarious because
Chris,
there's nothing chill about this game.
Yeah. It's so chill. It's basically Stardew Valley. It's the same thing.
It's Stardew Valley, but a slight difference.
Yeah, just
Chris,
it's a modern version. So I've been playing still Avatar and Metaphor Refantasio. I don't have much to say about either of them. I haven't changed my opinions. They're both fantastic games still. Just going back and forth kind of between them. But I did end up beating another smaller game just on my Steam Deck that I could play, on the couch when I'm not down on my PC or on my on the Xbox where I'm playing Metaphor. There was a game called Chasm, Chasm. I don't know if, Adam, you're going to be able to find any footage of it. This is a game I've had in my backlog for 10 years, and it's a reminder of why I should have never used Kickstarter, because I kickstarted this game. It's a Metroidvania pixel-looking game. It was fantastic. I actually really loved. Oh, did I cut out?
Yeah, that issue happened. That's all right. It's like half a second. Just start where you were again.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So as it's a Metroidvania pixel art small game, like it's a Metroidvania you can beat in I think 9 hours or something. How long to beat had it? Gorgeous artwork, all of that. But it was funny because I kickstarted this game. Like I went in and paid for it before to help make it get made back when I was going on Kickstarter, like the 2015 year. I think I did that for like 2 years before I was like, I don't need to do this. I have a backlog now. I don't need it. But yeah, it was interesting because this is something I've had for 10 years. And the only reason I ended up playing it is because the Steam Deck made it so accessible instead of like having to actually load this up on a console or on a PC or any of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a very cool concept. It's where you're this knight and you're in this town and you're like a rookie and they're like, hey, this town of miners is gone missing and you're the rookie. So you go deal with it because it's like the most minor with going into a mine. It's
I
like
wasn't
such
gonna
a
say
low
anything, but you did it
priority.
for me.
Like, it's such a low priority mission. It's like, yeah, they're probably just trapped in the mine. Go help them. While the other knights like fight monsters and stuff in this like kind of mythical land. But when you get there, it's actually just a Metroidvania where you go down this mine and you keep going further and further into different biomes and different areas. Areas just like in a Metroidvania where you can't get to certain areas until you get a certain power up, a double jump, wall climb, or wall jump, like that kind of stuff. But the cool thing is it's just this like one mine shaft that you go down and you keep going lower and lower, and it keeps going further in the story. What you think is like, oh, some miners are probably trapped, becomes this huge story about like a kingdom and like hell and all this other shit. Like it just keeps going and goes kind of off the rails, but in a really cool way. But the mechanics of the game stay the same. It's like it starts off with a simple mine shaft where, again, Metroidvania, you're just going through the different areas. You've got a map, different weapons you'll find while you're playing, different abilities you unlock. And you keep going lower, and all of a sudden the biomes change. You find some of the miners as you go. And the neat thing is that the actual town at the top, you can always return to it. And while you're down there, maybe you'll end up rescuing the blacksmith. He ends up going back to the surface, and at any point, you can kind of find the teleport area, go back to the actual town. Now you can go to the blacksmith and actually craft new weapons because you've unlocked that almost like an ability because you've now rescued that like villager from the mines and stuff. So very simple concept. In the sense if you've played like a retro Metroidvania, this is going to seem the exact same for like, well, not the exact same, but it's going to have all the stuff you're familiar with. I didn't need a tutorial or anything. Like the game spoke for itself if you played any of them like that before. But it was actually a lot of fun. It doesn't waste your time. It was very easy to like, I think I only died once where I like kind of got stuck because every time you get to a save area, like one of those save rooms, fully heals you. There's also teleport rooms which like help you go between the different biomes or all the way back to the main town. And in that teleports area, there's also a save point in there. So if you find any of those rooms, you can easily save your game as well as get all your health back. You're constantly leveling up, like your character actually gets XP throughout the game. And some of the power-ups that you actually get are really cool. There was something called a bird hat, and I was like, that's a weird helmet. Why would I want that? But it actually made you have like this bird companion that attacked enemies on the screen while you ran by. And then there was like this golden crown and this floating sword was following you around. So a lot of cool, like interesting things. And I highly, highly suggest it just because it's cheap. It's indie, so it's got a lot of love in it. The pixel art was gorgeous throughout the entire thing, and it's not too long or difficult. It also has accessibility options to change how much damage you do versus how much damage you take from enemies. So if you did find it too hard, even on easy, you could even make it easier, almost godlike if you wanted. But yeah, very fun game. Highly suggest it. This is, I don't even know if this is on consoles, to be honest. I played it on PC, and I know that's where it was for the last 10 years in my backlog. But highly suggest anybody who has a PC, especially or like a portable PC device, like a Steam Deck, anything like that, definitely a great place to play this game.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds like kind of gives me vibes of, oh, what was that game that I was playing not too long ago? Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, I'm not gonna remember the name of it, but it was kind of like almost like if the main character looked like kind of like Carmen Sandiego. In a way, she had like a.
Oh, I remember you talking about that game. Oh, I can't remember what it was called. Yeah,
I'm
yeah, very similar art style to that one. Yeah, I loved the art style in this Chasm game. It was really nice. Pixel art, I mean, I'm a sucker for that anyways, but it was done really, really, really nicely. And the game is still getting updates like to today. There was an update from like 2 months ago where the developer is still updating the game and adding to it, even though it's been out for like 10 years. It's pretty wild that he's still devoted to it, which is, I mean, indie devs, they actually love their game and their product, so it's amazing. Yeah, but highly suggest it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I'm gonna take a. Kayla, can you hear us or not? Okay, so it sounds like we're having some Discord issues. So you're gonna hear a cut in this video right now, guys. But we are just gonna come right back once we get our tech issues resolved. All right, so we're back. I don't know what's going on with Discord. Seems like it despises Kaylan. And
Yeah, he's gone.
you could say, oh, professionals don't have a backup option. And you're correct. But anyways, moving on. We're probably going to be looking into something for next week to try something different here because, we've been using Discord for a while and it's never really given us problems until recently. So something needs to change and we'll just have to figure what that is down the road. But for now, we'll trudge on through. So I will finish up with what I've been playing. And actually, I've been playing something very interesting. I have been getting around to Metal Gear Solid Delta.
2 games. I got Old Country and I got Metal Gear. I'm very interested in both these games, so I'm excited.
Absolutely. So, for context, I've never. Well, actually, that's a lie. I did play a tiny bit of Sons of Liberty, but I never really got like super into that series. Like honestly, the only Metal Gear game I've really put any amount of time into and finish is 5. So, going into this, I was very curious how I was going to handle this. I wasn't really sure. I'm only 3-ish hours in, so I don't really have like the most opinion at this point to put through. But I'm not gonna lie, like I like it a lot, although I don't know if it's necessarily the gameplay so much as there's just something just beautiful about David Hayter just being back. There's something to it. It's almost like nostalgia, even though I never played these games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, to me, he's always been the voice of Snake. Like him not being the other voices later on, like I never understood that for the most part. Yeah, like him being back in this. I don't know. I don't think he recorded anything new. I think it's just the voice lines from the original game and they reuse it, but still, whatever. Like it's amazing.
I wonder if that's true because. And again, me not having played the original game kind of makes it difficult to figure. But like, for example, when you call to save, every time you call, they do these little voice lines like talking about old movies. And like one of the first ones is them talking about Godzilla. And they make the tongue-in-cheek joke of like, oh, they're probably going to be making movies like 60 years from now. And given that this game is set in like the 60s, like it works out perfectly to being modern day. So I'm like, I feel like there's, if they didn't re-record, they've at least added some stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's what they did. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, it's been a long time since I played.
That seems like a good question to ask. Now, I was gonna search and then I realized my system doesn't like it when I do that. So I'm going to actually use my phone because that's going to be easier. Because apparently, and this is another fun thing about technology that I don't like, if I use a different window, apparently the video that's playing right now, like Opera will just think like, oh, I don't need to put you on anymore. And I'm like, no, you've already got a window on top of you. You're fine. But it's like, nope, you've used another internet browser. You have to stop now. And I'm like, thanks for nothing. Can't have video footage up in the background for no reason. But yeah, is the voice acting in Metal Gear Solid Delta new?
They recorded some new lines.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Yeah, so they did come in. It does reuse the original game, but it looks like they recorded also new lines. And fun fact, another voice actress in this game who plays what's her name? Eve?
Yeah.
No, Eva?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jodie Benson, who's Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah,
that's so fucking random.
Yeah, and people only just discovered this because back in the 2000s, she used a different voice acting name when it wasn't like Disney related because she didn't want to ruin that reputation. Everybody back then was really worried about like, oh, like the wholesomeness. It's not good. You're playing this sexual character in Metal Gear. So she actually had a different name, and it was only like a few months ago or 6 months ago that she actually confirmed that other voice actress is in fact her. Like it was some wild stuff, which is really funny. But yeah, it's Ariel from The Little Mermaid.
That's so cool. But yeah, like I obviously am very early into the game. I am also playing this on an easier difficulty. Now it gives you a weapon that has like unlimited ammo and suppressor. You don't have to worry about it breaking. I don't use it unless I'm fucked. So I'm trying to still play the game as best I can to its original capacity. So far I haven't had to yet. I will say playing this game has reminded me why I didn't like the original when I was playing. Oh, sorry, not the original, when I was playing the second one. The emphasis on, I mean, I could just go and kill people if I really wanted to, but that's going to cause an issue, and the game is not exactly designed for you to be in a great spot if there are people coming out of nowhere when you're using an AK-47. It's not great. So the emphasis on stealth is really up there. And this time around, I don't mind it as much, although I will say I still, there's that part of me, and maybe the difficulty is also helping with how much more easy it is to stay camouflaged. But there are moments where I'm like, I'm spending way too much time waiting for people to not be where I want to go, just so I can go there and do this exact same thing again. Like I feel like these encounters are too long. Now, I'm sure there's some realism to that. I don't care. When I played Metal Gear Solid 5, like, most of my stealth consisted of me, like, being far enough away that I could stealthily, like, snipe people. Like, that was what I considered it to be. Whereas this game is way more close encounter. So you got to be very aware of what's around you. So it's fine. Like, I'm not going to go out of my way and say that, like, this is the wrong way to play the game. But what I will say is that I remember why I did not attach as strongly to the originals growing up, because it really was a lot of that. Because I remember playing when I was playing Sons of Liberty, like, obviously I'm also younger, so I'm kind of stupid too. But anytime that I get caught, I'm like, well, cool, I'm dead. And, like, not understanding, like, I'm used to there always being, like, set routes and everything's fine, whereas they seem to be, they do have sort of routes, but they also are a little bit, like, intermittent on what they do. Like, it still is a bit of randomness. And also the idea of, like, well, you got to hide bodies and you got to make sure you're doing this and doing this. Like, it was a lot for me back then. Now it's a little more understandable, and it's not nearly as, like, annoying to me, but I'm still at a point of, like, man, I do miss the way that I could just kind of snipe everybody off in 5. I do kind of miss that. There is that, because, I mean, the way that this game has it is, like, the first gun you're given, the suppressor only has so many shots before it breaks. I don't remember if 5 had that issue. I can't remember if the suppressor just never broke. I don't remember. I don't think it did have that problem, but I'm not 100% certain.
No, even the first game didn't have that. That was something they introduced, I think, specifically in the third game. And the idea is that the other games take place in, like, the 90s, 2000s, blah, blah, blah. This is in the 60s, I think, where, the technology, suppressor technology wasn't as good. So Kojima would have tried to make it as realistic for the time period as possible. Which is funny because the villains. Which is funny
when there are villains that, shoot hornets at you, lightning, and whatever else.
Yeah, but the suppressor, very realistic.
I still love the idea, too, that in storyline, this guy who is just a really good soldier can beat these fucking spectral forces, fucking supernatural bullshit.
Everybody has a weakness, Adam. That's what this game's all about. It's learning that life is about having.
Yes, it's a tranquilizer darts 17 times to the gut.
Have you ever taken 17 tranquilizers to the gut? I have once.
Have you ever taken 7,000 death hornets swarming you at the same time?
Maybe one. Not that many, just one. But
I feel like I would have lost that fight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But in terms of, like again, the voice acting is top notch. So, like, I'm still entranced with what's going on, and visually it's very well put together. So all that's going for it well. And then as the game progresses, like, I just finished, I just defeated the Pain, for those who are curious on where I'm at right now. So I've defeated, like, the first major boss. So I'm slowly working my way through, but I have a feeling that by the time this is done, I'll be like, you know what, this is fun to play through. And I mean, my goal is to finish it, because I've never finished an old school one. So that's the hope. If I do that, I'm pretty sure I'll be in the, like, 7 to 8 out of 10 range, where I'll be like, I like it, but I also have a lot of things that I don't like about it. And that's probably going to be where I finish with it. I'm still having, like, a pretty good time with it. I'm not having, like, the best of times like I was with 5. Like, I honestly would think that 5 to me was like a 9. Like, I really enjoyed Metal Gear Solid 5 a lot. So
Five was really good. Five was really good.
And I think it's
love the
because it was like a
original.
streamlined version of it, so I think it was the best of both worlds to me.
Yeah, yeah. I was a little worried about five because it was like open world. Well, you're probably seeing here in this one, it's a linear path and story. I think you can go back to areas, but like you don't really have a need to unless you're looking for some specific.
It's like a Metroidvania in the way that it has like just little like parts of the level here and there that you kind of go between.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of like, massive open world that five had. But yeah, five did it really, really well. I loved the original trilogy, especially the first game. The first game I've beaten probably 20 or so times. It's just like such a good game to me. Yeah, if you go from five to there, it is a huge difference because this is all close quarters combat, the CQC. This is where they like brought that in. And it's all like, all right, sneak around, shoot this person with a tranquilizer, put them in a locker or something and hide their body and then continue and keep doing it. And yeah, like I was really into that stealthness back then. It was a lot of fun.
And then one other tip, Konami. Could we relax with the alligators, please? I have a problem with them. I wasn't enjoying the first part where there's like this muddied area where there's like 6 of them, and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable right now.
Yeah, I remember that part on the original game, at least. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, snakes were a little better, but alligators, no. I still have bad memory. No, I don't need any more nightmare fuel. It's bad enough as it is. It's bad enough as it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will say, like, the little things here and there, like obviously there's an emphasis on survival with this because there's the camouflage to keep you hidden. There's, picking up rations, using animals as food. There's a lot to it where there's really an emphasis on actually using your resources around you and not just, going to kill on everything that you can. And I do like that, that style. I think as I get deeper into the game, like I might start to grow a little bit sick of it because eventually I'll just be like, dude, okay, like I've been doing this for a while now. Can I just go to the part where I'm just being like a fucking cool action hero and shit? Because I mean, look, 5 has its moments where I do spend like 30 minutes on a building, slowly clearing it out, like it's like it's a Far Cry mission too when you were dealing with all the bases there. But then there are times where I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, we're going guns blazing. I don't care no more. I don't know if this is real. Like, so far, I haven't tried, but, like, I also don't think that this is one where you really should be. I don't think that's the way they designed this in the first place.
You'll usually die. Like, there are firefight parts, but they're, like, story-related versus, like, going in guns blazing. Yeah.
Also, just because I've never played this game before, just now that it's on screen right now for those watching the video version of it, just the relationship of him slowly building with Revolver Ocelot as he's like slowly teaching him. It's like, hey, you're like, this kid's a fucking idiot. I need to show him the ropes a little bit here.
Absolutely.
I do love that little relationship. Like, he hasn't even had a revolver yet, and he's like, dude, like, you're not even using the right fucking gun for you. And then he finally gets a revolver, and he's like, dude, what did you get it engraved for? What the fuck is wrong with, like, if he was just speaking plainly, it's like, dude, are you a fucking idiot or something?
Yeah. Oh, so good.
Like, it's little things like that. Like, there's a lot of weirdness in Kojima's games, and then there's stuff like this where I go, see, I love this part. This is like got the Yakuza part of my brain going off where I'm like, this is just like fun, kind of silly.
Absolutely.
But yeah, so far so good. I'm not complaining at this point.
Nice.
Well, what we were going to all talk about before Discord decided to be rude to us and Kaylan had to drop out because technology is just, apparently we're technology's bitch today. We were going to go over, Chris and I have been doing series on the side quest for a while. Kaylan's been feeling a little bit left out. So he really wanted to start one up here. And of course, we start one and then Discord decides, no, actually, you're not going to be in this one either. So that's really funny. But what we've been wanting to do was a series that talked about like, what we thought the definitive game was for a specific console, and not like our favorite, because that would be like, we would never be able to agree on that, because we're all going to have a different favorite potentially. But when we say definitive, like we mean the one that we think really shows the console at its best. whether that's it's pushing it to its limit, whether it's like what what was the foundation of it or what changed the industry as time went on. Like, it's almost like us saying, like, if there's one game from this console, if you have a museum, but you're only allowed to put one game per console into it, what is the game that kind of defines that to you? Now, we're starting with the NES. Now, Kaylan mentioned both, I think he said Mario 3 and Duck Hunt for two different things. Super Mario 3 seems like the common answer. Because it's like, people would argue that it's the best game on that system, which I don't think I disagree with either. I don't know what you think about that, Chris.
Oh, I completely agree. I obviously we had our main game and our runner-up just in case, and I did put Super Mario Brothers 3 as my main one, just because it kind of pushed platformers to become just so popular, right? Mm-hmm. Like Mario 1, obviously, first like platformer that was mainstream, but 3 was when it really took off with, a world map and, platforming with different powers that was beyond just like, oh, you can shoot fire now, all that kind of stuff. Like it really became like cartoons were made off of it and shit, right? Like it became like the platformer. So that's why it is my number one. But
I'm not understanding though why it has. Where's the love for Super Mario Brothers 2? Like seriously, like do we not understand how transformative it was for that companies down the road realize, oh, we can take a completely unrelated game and just make it something and put a label over it and it's fine.
No, that was super transformative for the industry, but in a bad way.
What do you mean?
I am curious what your number one is, though.
So the direction that I kind of took it with, right? Like, if I really want to nail it down, like Super Mario 3 is the most important one to the console because it's the best Mario game, and Mario kind of is the most important thing to that console when you really think about it. But I want to look at it in a different direction because, again, we talked about, like, push the console to its limit, like, change stuff for the industry going forward, something that I think is really memorable in that aspect. And I kind of took it in a different direction because, Super Mario obviously was big for platforming, but, like, the industry was always going to go in the direction of good single-player games anyway. I don't think that was ever going to really change. What I think really showed what home consoles could do, I think, is when we started getting into the multiplayer aspect of it. And there are two games that come to mind. I don't necessarily know which order I would put it in. I think just because of, how fast like a specific level can go, I think Battletoads might get the edge. But Battletoads and Contra are the two that come to mind to me, which are games that also, like, it pushed the console to its limit because of the sheer amount of stuff going on at the same time, especially with a game like Contra where there's just so much bullet hell going on. But Battletoads also with the speed of, like, I'm thinking the jet ski or the surfboard level or whatever it was when you're going really, really fast in that like area there. Like, it's just two different games that I look at and go, wow, like, we could easily put so many other games in there, like obviously Legend of Zelda could fall into that as well. But I think in terms of, like, what really changed from this point onward was, in my opinion, where we started seeing a lot more multiplayer stuff come in. Because there's one thing to say, like, oh, well, Pong existed. I'm like, yeah, but not to the extent that, like, this much is going on at the same time. Like, a game like, even like the Ninja Turtles original, like, NES, arcade game and stuff like that. Where I think there was an emphasis on, here's how hard we can push this system. And it's not just like it's one input. It's multiple.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, those are good picks. Those are actually really good picks. Yeah, my runner-up was Metroid, because sure, it's pushing the system and stuff, but it was like first female, I think, like main character. Not first. There
probably
female,
was something somewhere, but like in terms of like a major one and one that has had staying power, I think is
staying power, and like as an action star versus like other types of stereotypes probably there was, but also
who knows? Maybe the Carmen Sandiego games were out before that.
Probably not true. But also with just Metroid, I also threw that one in there because it created a genre. Like no other game had done that idea where it's like, well, there's a map and you can move around it. You get power-ups. You have to go back to places. All other games were like move from left to right and get to the end. And it was kind of simple, where this game, it was like, I can go left or right and up and down, and I can't get through this door until later. Like, that's why I threw that one in as my my runner-up.
There are other similar things, like, I mean, Castlevania 2 is sort of like that as well.
Yeah.
It's like there were a lot of different games that pushed it for other reasons. There was, I'm going to go quickly double check. There was one other thing that I remember seeing, but it was for like more of a graphical reason. Also made things. Sorry, of course I didn't have it handy when I need. Maybe I might be mixing it up with the SNES. Who knows? I mean, oh no, it was Slalom, because it was like a very early attempted 3D, but like no one really remembers what Slalom was.
No, but I know what it is, and I do know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's like, actually a good point.
Because it's like very few games were really hitting that in the same way that, like, obviously, as we see now, it's like very common. I think obviously, like, the correct answer to this is Super Mario 3, but I wanted to point out a few other examples that I thought
100%
meant more, because I mean, like I said, like, we're talking when we say that, definitive, like, a lot of people just default, well, what's the best game? And best and important and definitive, like, there's so many different ways you can go about it. Like, if I was looking at like a game that I would want to show that, like, hey, here's something that kind of changed the industry, I don't necessarily think that's Super Mario 3, because it's the third game. Well, technically, for us North Americans, it was the second one. We just don't count the other one. But I mean, Lost Levels is a thing anyway. But like, it's not even the first of its kind. It's just an improved version of a game that already existed.
Yeah, and I do see what you're saying. Yeah, because then if it was like change the industry only, then it would be the first one, like Super Mario Brothers, the first one, because it was like the platformer. It was the one that started it all. The theme music, the concept of two players each taking turns, going through all that kind of good stuff. I just put 3 because honestly, I think like if you take the staying power of that first game, and then obviously also then combine like what's pushing the console to its limits and kind of made a change on the industry. I think if we only had Super Mario Brothers 1, I don't think platformers or Mario or Nintendo would be what it is today. I think without Mario Brothers 3, where that mainstream happened, it's kind of like the Final Fantasy 7 of Final Fantasies. Is it the most important? Is it the best? Anything like that? No, but was it the one that really changed people's opinions on it in general, maybe even a genre? So that's why I put 3.
And that's kind of, and that, like I said, like that's where I kind of stand on it too, where it's, like, is it my personal one? No, but like I have to also take bias aside when I'm doing stuff like this, because again, like we could bring up the Super Nintendo and then all of a sudden I could just be like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy 6, not even fucking close. But like, you got to think a little bit harder with that than just going like, well, what's the one that I think means the most to me on that console? And that's not exactly the question here. Because I mean, and we've had this conversation. I mean, obviously we've done our various series that we've done on SideQuest, where we've either been talking about like, what our favorites are on something, or what the best of something is, like, or what, like, even when we did our remix videos, like, we weren't necessarily always picking the ones that we thought were the ones that we wanted the most, but we thought the ones that were like, that needed it, that could benefit from it. It wasn't always just like, oh, I really want to play this. It's like also like, dude, like this one's like a classic. It needs to be like, there are people that need to play this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in this case, like, if we're adding it to a museum, like that's a whole different curation, for lack of a better word, I guess, description for what we're doing here compared to, saying, oh, if this is the one game you could play. I think the answer might actually be the same regardless. In this case, if there's one game we'd want to play, but also one game you want to put in a museum, I think this might actually be the one case where it would be the same. But I don't think for any other console we'll come to, I don't think that will be the case.
No,
we
maybe
might be
not.
wrong, but like Super Nintendo might have a shot at it, but I think that's probably the closest one. But I think there's a lot more nuance to that one than say here, where there's the NES is, and we even did our JRPG list on SideQuest about it. You don't have a lot to choose from, because back then most games were at best 6s, but you accepted them as 9s because you had nothing else.
Yeah, 100%.
There were rare 10s on those consoles.
Yeah.
Whereas once you get to the Super Nintendo, a 10 is like an arbitrary grade you give to like a lot of games on that system because a lot of them are still very timeless.
Very.
It's like, in thinking about it, like they're like Mega Man also would stand up there as well, right? Like as being a game that, you know, really pushed things as time went on, as being like this action-packed platformer, you know, with like, what's the word I'm looking for? Progression carrying forward, like with all the weapons that you gain over time. Kirby, you know, Kirby's Adventure, I think, what was that, like late tail end of NES, like started pushing the
like,
color aspect of the graphics.
Yeah, there was 1990 or 91. Like the Super Nintendo was already out, I think, when Kirby's Adventure came out.
Well, I think, wasn't there even a Batman game that was like out around the same time that the transition was, and it kind of almost passed for like a 16-bit game on the NES hardware?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, the Batman game was really good.
Was it Return of the Joker? I think it was.
I think it did have Joker, and he was like all over the cover. I don't remember if it's called just Batman or Batman Return of the Joker.
Yeah, something like that. And then even like, and I'm thinking from obviously like speedrunner tech from like people using stuff like Crystalis was one that also was like tail end pushing stuff. And
oh yeah, DuckTales with that music.
Star Tropics, I think.
Star Tropics.
Yeah.
Where you had to actually take a piece of paper and like heat it because there was like lime juice or whatever written on it, and you had to actually get an answer to a question in the game by like getting out a fucking clothes iron and like
Kojima must have been a big fan of that game. No wonder he got stuff like that going on.
Well, he did do that with Metal Gear Solid 1. In order to find out how to reach Meryl, you had to actually look on the back of the PS1 case. That's where her code was.
Yeah, like even with like some of the ports today, because I know Dragon's Lair got ported to that console, and I think what was the other, like Prince of Persia, the PC one, also got ported there too. So like there was stuff that was like showing that like, oh, when you put it through its paces, like we can play some pretty interesting things on here. But like, yeah,
100%.
Like if I was to put a tier, like Super Mario 3 is definitely up there, and I think Contra would probably be like the next one I throw there, being like that, like those two, and then probably Link to the Past and Metroid. And if I was to put a fifth, I'd say probably Kirby, just because like that being so like at the tail end, like it really did like push that cartridge to its paces.
100%.
Like that's a list of games right there that you look at and go like, that's when it, like, if you really want to see what the best of that console was, it's those 5.
Yeah, 100%. And Link and Legend of Zelda was so huge because like it was the first game, I think, with like a save system where you could actually save your game without a code and all that. And yeah, like there was just so many different important things happening in that console because it was like the birth of home consoles. I know Atari and stuff really was first, but that was so limited they couldn't do too much.
Gone, so we've kind of it's like the winners of war kind of get to tell the stories. Kaylan was making the joke that we're not going to talk about Sega consoles on this. I'm like, Sega's not that far dead and gone that we have forgotten them. Come on now.
yeah. I could.
Atari, on the other hand, like there's a reason that we haven't done a list of like the best Atari games.
Yeah, or the best Neo Geo ones.
Like apart from when we go into an arcade and we remember how much we like, you know, asteroids and shit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like the NES is pretty easy. Like there's a lot of firsts on this console. So figuring out like what was so important for the industry, very easy to find, where it's like, well, this is the first Metroidvania. This is the first, you know, real platformer. This is the first like real 2 players playing at the same time kind of game. This is the one that invented the save system. Like there's so many different important moments on the NES. It's actually pretty wild when you think about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we've had this situation too with our JRPG conversation. It's like there's only so much to pick from. So like here, it's going to be easier when we do SNES. Whether it's next week, because I don't think we're doing this on like a set week. Like it's just whenever we don't have anything topical to go on, so that we have this as like a backup. But when we do get on the Super Nintendo, like I think there's going to be a lot more debate with that one, because I mean, sure, like there is Link to the Past, there is Super Mario World, but then there's also stuff when you really sit down and think about it, like Super Mario Kart, like really changed a lot of things. You go to things like obviously Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VI and just like expansive storytelling and what that's done. There's a lot more to it than just what the arguably biggest game was at the time, right? So it'll be a much more interesting conversation. We might even have 3 different answers when we come to the table with that. So
I think we will. It's funny, you like I have a list, I've already got it in front of me, and a lot of the games you mentioned are kind of there, but like my first game, I don't think will be the same as you or Kaylan.
Yeah.
And it's not like what I'm gonna say is shocking. Like it's like, whoa, what is that? No, it's just probably not one you guys would think that is on the top of the list. But again, I have my reasons why I think it's the number one. So yeah.
But please tell me more about Wario's Woods.
How did you know? It's not Wario's Woods.
Okay, fine, Dr. Mario, we get it.
Oh, yeah, I didn't really like Dr. Mario. I didn't. I love Tetris. Did not love Dr. Mario.
Apparently, only got room for one of those.
Yeah. Hey, there's a reason Tetris is still made 50 times a year, and there's not a new Dr. Mario
Yet.
Coming to the Switch too. What?
Dr. Mario effect.
Yeah.
Okay,
actually, I'd play that. Now I'm back in, but I'd even prefer Yoshi's Cookie. I'm not gonna lie, Yoshi's Cookie was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, it was actually. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
It's no Dr. Robotics Mean Bean Machine though.
That game was hard. I had that on a PlayStation 3 collection, like the Sonic collection, and the achievement in the trophy for that game was to beat the final level of Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and it was really hard. Like the fact I pulled it off was a fluke, because it would be you start the level and it just filled up and you died. And it was like, what the hell is going on? Like it was way too hard. And it was just a fluke where I moved something and it's just like caused this chain reaction of like 30 lines getting cleared and I defeated him. I'm like, that was a fluke. That was like you either won within the first 2 seconds or just died. So yeah, no, fuck me.
I continue to understand why you will never finish your backlog.
Because I need to get the achievement in Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine on a PlayStation 3. And I got it. That was my first platinum ever on the PS3. First ever platinum. That's what started this.
So it's their fault. Okay.
Yeah, I blame Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine.
Well, I guess every villain has their origin story. How much you can do about that point. But anyways, I digress. So that's going to do for this episode. Like I said, I don't know how much editing of the show I'm going to do yet because I haven't gotten to it as we're recording this. Obviously, real time is a thing here. We're going to probably look into something different to maybe see if we can figure out a better way around this. Because we've been using Discord the entire time. This is episode 206. We've been doing Discord this entire time. And we've had like the odd internet hiccup here and there. We've consistently had issues now for a month and change that we've been fighting through. And I think now it's at the point it's like, okay, and nothing against Discord, because I mean, it's still a great platform regardless, but it seems like now we've also been doing this long enough that maybe we should, sort of try to take a little bit better care of it. I think in retrospect, like for those who don't know, I locally record on my side, but it's Discord. So when I'm getting Chris and Kaylan, it's getting what they're outputting to Discord. I'm not like getting a recording from them or anything. So that's why my quality always sounds good and my webcam never fucks up, because it's not going through internet, it's local. So with these guys, when something happens, it's gonna break at some point if things don't go well. And normally it happens once in a blue moon and it's not a big deal. You can edit around that once in a while. It's become consistent enough that I think we need to look into something else that might have local recordings for all of you, so that way I just edit it later. And if that means the next episode comes out a little bit later, like I was talking to the guys, because we record Tuesday nights, so I only have so much time to edit these. And if I have to now take local recordings, throw it on top, get the overlay, because I don't know if this new setup we find has even the ability to use overlays. So I may have to take all those recordings, throw them in after, and do all this extra work. It might be that it either comes out later on a Wednesday, because normally we put these out at noon Eastern. Maybe it's in later in the evening. Maybe it's even Thursday. Not sure yet. For those who are in the Discord, you'll be the first to know. For those that obviously are not in the Discord, well, there's the link tree. Hey, it's a great time to start putting out the closing stuff. That's linktr.ee/PixelPlay Podcast, which does have the link to our Discord there. And obviously, you should just be in the Discord anyway, not because connection quality on our video podcast is starting to drop. No. It's because you get to talk to us. And by talk to us, I mean mostly talk to Chris and them, because they go on tangents and I'm kind of looking at stuff being like, I'm not going to listen to your conversation about coffee for 2 hours today.
Yeah, we had a great conversation about coffee. That was my favorite conversation I think we've ever had because it's so near and dear to my heart. Yeah, coffee. I
Yeah,
love
we
it.
know your addiction. Got it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you think I got an addiction to video games? Oh, you wait. What do you think fuels that?
Well, wait. Honest question. Is it as bad an addiction because you don't technically have as big a backlog of coffee?
You don't know how many bags of coffee
I
have in
do
this
know how
house.
many bags of coffee you do. I've been in your house.
It's just really hard to buy enough with the space I have. Video games, if I had to buy physical copies, I would be limited. That's what the difference
'Cause
is.
here's the
If
thing.
there was
I
digital
think-
coffee, I'd be fucked.
I think your coffee addiction will be bigger if you had easy access to go to Disneyland on a consistent basis.
Yes, that is true. That is
If you
true.
could get
Because
that coffee consistently, then we'd have a problem.
of that Disney coffee, currently, I have 20 bags of it because it came to HomeSense here in Canada, which is like the TJ Maxx and stuff in the US, which has a partnership to sell it. Very rarely does it come to Canada. All of a sudden, a huge amount started showing up. You damn right I bought as many as I could find because hell yeah.
That's gonna be me. Like if Doritos ever comes back with their all dress chips up here,
Oh yeah.
because I made that mistake. I thought it was never gonna go away because they were so goddamn good, and it's Canada. You'd figure they'd stick with that. Then they were gone. And if I ever see them again, I will buy whatever the store has at the time, or at least how much I think I can finish in the span that those bags will be good for. Because I mean, obviously, eating 12-year-old bags, or no, it's not 12-month-old bags of chips, probably not the best idea.
Yeah. Even if they go 12 years, I'm sure they'll still taste the same. If it's an unopened bag.
When we were talking Doritos, not McDonald's.
Oh, yeah. You can just leave that on your front lawn. It'll still be it'll be the same unless an animal gets it.
Well, yeah, that's kind of never mind. But anyways, so that's gonna do it for this show. So side quest on Friday. We also had issues. Chris is frozen for about half of it, and then an error message for like 5 minutes of it. But the audio was fine, so that's good.
Yeah. Discord hijacked my camera. Like what the like?
And it's fun. Like, granted, there's still like 2 minutes left before with my rambling, but like it's been fine since. So I don't know if we're picking and choosing here. But we continued our series of our favorite JRPGs. We did the 2010s, so we got one more to go, and we finished off with the 2020s. And by 2020s, we mean 5 years of half of it. But that's been fun. We're gonna have to figure again what we need to find a much longer series next time. I think I've got a good one. I think we got something to lean into next time, but we'll see. But I think I got to do another game with you to kind of split off with that. I got to torture you some more. It's been a while. I don't like that. I don't like when I don't get to torture you.
No, I love that. I actually love that. It's great.
Yeah, you love when your knowledge is tested and all of a sudden you're like, oh great, now I get to look like an idiot in front of everybody.
Yeah, because it's like, oh, this is a character. Name any character from Mortal Kombat, and I panic, and then I can't name one, and it's like,
see,
Chris,
I did so many more of those, and you saw me blank on some real dumb shit too. So you know what?
That's true.
We're in the same boat there, pal. Sooner or later, y'all are not going to be available at all, and I'm going to have to do one again myself. I'm going to be like, great, what other thing can I do that's going to make me look like I don't fucking know anything again?
Yeah.
But alas, we will be doing that on Friday, so look forward to that. Otherwise, you guys know the drill. If you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. We appreciate that. If you're listening on any audio platforms, if you have the ability to give us a rating, please do so there. Otherwise, if you got any friends that would be into this kind of stuff, share with them. And like I said, there's the link to our Discord in the link tree, linktr.ee/pixelplay podcast. So, like I said, if we do change how things are going to get posted, we will let people know in the Discord. So keep an eye on that. Otherwise, we will see you whenever those go up. I can't imagine, like, even if we change the format, that it's going to be any later than Thursday. So if you don't see it that day, like, there's a pretty good chance you'll just see it the next. It'll be fun. But anyways, so wherever you may be, take care. Bye-bye for now.